Hey guys, I'm Elizabeth Newsom and welcome to my booktube channel. Today I'm going to be doing a Q&A. So I got these questions from a combination of Instagram and Wattpad, so let's start off with my Instagram questions. The first question is by Abby, A-B-B-Y-E 20, and it says, "Can I have a hug?" Yes, Abby, you can have a hug. The next one is by EVO05, and she asks, "What's your favorite book on Wattpad?" I think my favorite book would probably be The Last She. I'm not sure that that's a story that you can read for free right now. You might have to pay for it, but it's this post-apocalyptic world where there's this disease that kills 90% of men, but 99.9% of women. So women have become extremely rare, and there's this one girl, and of course she's not literally the last she, but she's definitely one of the few females who survived the disease. And so she used to live with her dad, but now she's on her own, and then she tries to break into this house. Well, not really break in, no one's there because it's deserted, but she tries to get some canned food and she gets caught in the process, and these people figure out that she's a girl. And that's where it all starts. There's another book, though, that I think you still can read for free called Talon the Black by Melissa Mitchell. It's about this girl named Claire and this guy who can turn into a dragon or human. He crash lands in her cornfield, and Claire's in her 20s. Her parents are away at this time, so she brings him in and cares for him. But eventually he dies, and then when he dies, his other companions come to look for him, and they see her and they think that she's killed him, so they bring her. They find out she's innocent, but by that time the king of that world, Talon the Black, has started to fall in love with her. And so those other guys who are like human and dragon, they're like these specialized guards for Talon the Black. I believe there's only 6 or 7 of them, and the guy she took care of who died was one of them. But gradually they start falling in love, and it's super cute, and I just love the whole fantasy world and the fantastical elements. So I know I gave you 2 instead of 1, but I really like both of those. Keela MCC asks, "How did you keep your inspiration and motivation for Captive and Crowned?" That's hard, because a lot of times I had to write when I didn't feel inspired. I rewrote Captive and Crowned about 3 times over the course of around 5 years, and a lot of times it was just really stressful. I put notes to myself in brackets in the middle of a manuscript when I'm writing it, like remember to add a description of this here, or make sure you go back and foreshadow this. And in some of the brackets I had written things like, "Oh my goodness, this is such awful writing," or "This is so stupid." So it was really hard, because throughout the whole writing process you're kind of battling with insecurity and the feeling that your writing will never be good enough and that you're a really bad writer. But you just have to learn to deal with it and to push past it and to write regardless of how you feel. As far as motivation goes, the best way to stay motivated is to have a reason to write. For me, I have this message that I'm really passionate about, and it's hard to summarize the message, but essentially I want to share truth and, most importantly, God's love with other people, because I feel like God's loved me, so I want to pass that on to other people. I want to love them and then tell them how much God loves them. And I don't always do that overtly in my stories, but there are other messages I try to get across that I believe are truth and that come from God. So I have this overarching mission that pushes me past that fear and the pain and the discomfort to complete my book. Naomiehdowning asks, "Is Captive and Crowned going to have a sequel? Do you have plans/ideas for the next book you want to publish?" The answer is yes. So actually I'm rewriting the second book right now. It's going crazy. In fact, after this YouTube video I'm going to work on writing it. My goal is to write 3,400 words for it today, which writing that many words in a day is really painful. It takes me 2 to 3 hours, which really isn't that bad. I know I shouldn't complain. Every single day, even during school days, because right now, today's a Saturday, I oftentimes write 2,800 words, and then there are some days where I get so busy and I get 0 words, and it's highly, highly stressful. But all that to say is, yes, I am writing a sequel for Captive and Crowned. I do have an idea for it. It's about this girl who is a gambler but also a noblewoman. So what she does is she sneaks out at night to gamble, and her parents hire this guard who's supposed to keep her inside at night. That's the very basic premise of the story, and hint, the guard might be a minor character. I shouldn't say a minor character. He might be a major character from Captive and Crowned, whose name is Draven. I know that's the most obvious hint ever. But we're following Draven's story now and his love interest. Alright, now on to my Wattpad questions. I actually got quite a few questions on there. If Reyna-Reads asks, if you were to have any other job other than being an author, what would it be? Wow. I've wanted to be an author forever. There are other things in conjunction with being an author that I'm working on, like being a motivational speaker. I finally have some scheduled speaking engagements that are scheduled in January and February, and I'm going to talk actually about how to use YouTube for authors. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not a super great YouTuber, but I do have more experience than most authors. So, motivational speaker. But I know that's kind of connected with my writing. I also really do like marketing. That's my major. And right now I'm a marketing intern. It's a lot of fun. I get to design calendars and little visual puzzles that go in napkin dispensers. I get to talk to people and do surveys and hand out candy. So I really like marketing. But again, all of these kind of funnel into that overarching dream of being an author, and all those are important components to me of being an author. If I had to do something completely unrelated, I think I'd want to work in the video game industry, honestly. I used to get involved in this program called Scratch, and then later I got into this program called Alice, and I think video games are really cool. I don't play them a lot just because I don't have time, but when I do, I enjoy them, so long as I'm not getting absolutely creamed like my brothers beat me on a regular basis in Smash Bros. But there's so many elements I think I'd enjoy of video games, from the coding to the storyline and the art and the characters. There's a lot of story type elements in it. And a few years ago, I wanted to work on creating video games. Calagtic asks, how did you find Wattpad? Did someone introduce you to it, or did you find it yourself? I think I found it myself. I think so. I don't really remember. It was a very long time ago. I was on Fiction Press writing Captive and Crowned, and then I found Wattpad and I thought, hey, I might as well put Captive and Crowned on here. Or I should call it Captured and Crowned. Captured and Crowned is the name of the first draft, and then I rewrote it, published it, now it's Captive and Crowned. But I believe I just found it by looking up stuff. Again, my memory is really fuzzy in this area, but I used it just because it's like, hey, here's another platform for original works where I could put Captured and Crowned on. Anitka1404 asks, have you ever considered becoming a vegan/vegetarian? No. I understand some people's motivation for it, and I know there can be health benefits, but it'd be really hard to get enough calories and protein for me. I really like trying to eat a lot of lean protein, and in addition, I really like meat. Alright, same question by her. Are you Catholic or a member of the Catholic Church? No, my branch is more Protestant. I don't know. Like, I'm a member of a Baptist church right now, but I've also gone to Methodist, non-denominational churches, and I think it's Anglican church? No. It's not a Church of Christ. It starts with an A. It has an A at the beginning of one of the words. But I've gone to several different Protestant denomination churches, so I would say I'm Protestant, but other than that, I wouldn't really claim a denomination. Once you finish TKCB, are you going to concentrate solely on number 2 book in the Torvin trilogy, or will you come up with a new Wattpad story with a twice-a-week update for us? So, once I finish TKCB, I am going to primarily concentrate on getting this second book done, because it's kicking my butt right now. And every day that I have to update for TKCB, oftentimes that means I get no writing done for this second book. But with that said, I only need to write this second book until December 10th, and then I'll be done with the rewrite and hopefully the bulk of writing it. I think sometime next year I'll come out with another Wattpad book for you guys, just because I enjoy that platform and I think it's important to continue a relationship with my readers there and to get more readers through Wattpad. KimberlyAPacheco asks, did you get a haircut? And the answer would be yes. I actually have a video about getting my hair cut, which got quite a few views, by the way. I was surprised people would want to watch that. But hey. Queen of Weirdom asks, how many chapters left in TKCB? 1 chapter. Yeah, almost done. Lucara Spock asks, how are you able to find amazing inspiration to create your amazing stories that hold emotion and are able to captivate the audience? That's really sweet. That is very sweet. Thank you. It comes from everywhere. Sometimes I'll be watching a movie or reading another story and I'll think, what if this slight part was changed? Or I'll just have a random thought that will lead to another random thought. Like, I remember one time I saw this prism for Pink Floyd where there's white light coming in and then all the colors coming out. And I realized I was kind of thinking of the concept of good and evil. And evil usually either is the absence of good or it's taking something good and twisting it. And I can explain, I'm not going to explain that right now because this is just kind of my philosophy. But anyway, I was thinking about the concept of prisms and what if there was this evil group of people who they couldn't create a light source of their own, but they could only manipulate what was already there and create these illusions and shadows. And then what if there was this other group of good people who were actually able to create light, not just distort it? So now I have a story idea for these, I call them stars and prisms, these 2 groups of people. I don't know when I'll write that story, but that's a concept I really want to get to. So honestly, any little thing I see, stories and movies can be very inspirational, but that's how I get my inspiration. Taurazee asks, how do you balance writing with other aspects of your life? The answer is I don't. I feel like I'm messing up on so many things right now and that I'm just falling short in a lot of areas of my life, honestly. I know people look at my life and they're like, oh yeah, the YouTube channel, published a book, you make good grades, whatever. And I have an amazing life. That's not to say it's not. It's just there are so many things that I can see that other people can't, where I fall short or I completely lose my balance and it feels like everything comes crashing down. With that said, I mean, nothing disastrous is happening. My relationship with my boyfriend, great. Family, great. Grades, great. My book, I mean, I think the sales are going pretty well, all things considered. YouTube channel, still growing, not huge, but still growing. There's so much more I could be doing, honestly, and it bothers me. And then there's so many goals that I set that I don't meet, like those word count goals of writing 2,800 words a day. Man, I hope I get those done today. So that's a hard question because I don't feel like I balance it at all. But to be fair, I do have a life outside of writing, and I do have writing, and I do pretty much both every day. So what I have to do is I have to wake up pretty early and I have to get some words in. I don't get all my words in because, like I said, 2,800 words is quite a bit. Although I can type 2,500 words in an hour if I'm really motivated to. But that's the fastest I can type. So usually writing takes me over an hour, but I'll write for an hour or so in the morning, and then sometimes I'll have class, and then after class, usually before and after lunch, I write more. Then a lot of times I have work or I have more school, so I'll do that, and then after work or school I'll write more, and usually that's enough to get my writing done. But yeah, all my free time goes into writing. I know I seem kind of sad and tired when I say that, but just keep in mind that this is a very hard phase of writing that I'm at, because I'm in the rewriting phase. I'm on deadline. I'm just crunching those words right now and pumping them out. So, this is only for 2 months that I have to do this, right? And I'm already a month through. I have less than a month to go, so I can do this. That's the closest way I get to achieving balance. And how. I know that's not a very good answer, but that's because I don't feel like I'm balancing anything right now, honestly. All right. Calagtic asks another question. How do you get through every bad comment? I've never experienced that since I barely even get any good comments, but someone like you with skill and experience in an audience would have good and bad comments. How do you deal with that? You're right, I do get plenty of bad comments. A good amount. And then there's another YouTube video I have about this newspaper that had several bad comments, which is okay. And bad comments are hard, and they bother me. Usually I'm able to just kind of like let them roll off me like water off of a duck's feathers sort of thing. But sometimes when I'm weaker, when I'm tired and I feel like my writing is crap and I'm feeling insecure, those comments have a way of kind of worming in and making it really hard to write. I think the biggest thing is to realize, again, that you just need to write no matter how you feel, and you need to be able to push through that. I mean, one good way of dealing with it is to make a YouTube video about it, because I post lots of YouTube videos about my bad comments. And then of course, there are just so many good comments, so by focusing on the good comments, and then of course people, when they hear about all the bad comments I get, they're just so sweet and kind and encouraging. That honestly really helps too. Even if they hurt, and even if they make you less motivated to write, going back to the reason behind your writing, because if it's a reason that you really care about, you're going to pursue it no matter what. Nothing will stop you. It might slow you down, but it won't stop you. Well, there you guys have all my questions for my Q&A. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe, because I post one bookish video a week. And in the comments, I'd love to hear from you guys. Let me know what you thought of some of my answers, and if you have any questions for my next Q&A. Let me know down below, and I'll see you next time. Bye!